The pitfalls on real estate contracts run, contrary to some of the benefits. I mean, the biggest one is payable on sale clause. That's probably the one that gives people the most heartburn, which we've already covered. The payable on sale clause is written into the sort of underbelly of your mortgage and your promissory note that just simply states that if they find out that you've sold it in this manner, that they could call the note payable on sale. That's more likely to happen with a lower interest rate. The higher the interest rate goes, the bank doesn't want to, they're not coming after you for pennies. They just make your payment on time and they'll leave you alone, which is pretty typical. But if you have a really low rate and the market shifted a lot, I could see a time where banks really, we need to eliminate all these 2% mortgages. Go after all these people that have sold them on real estate contracts. Let's get them to refinance. So that's probably the biggest one. The second one is default. You could collect a down payment. Somebody could pay in for years and then they can stop paying. You have death, you have divorce, you have chronic illness. You have all these things that do occur on a regular basis within our society. So I think it's important to have a healthy perspective on what can go wrong. And so somebody can pay the down payment, pay mortgages every month, and then they can walk away. That's not the worst thing that can happen. The default rate for most mortgages in America right now are under 2%. So if somebody makes a down payment of 5% or more, if you get 20% down, the default rate is like 1% or less. So you'd have to sell 100 homes on a real estate contract to find one default under those ratios. But it does happen. And so just having a plan, having a reserve account. So real estate contracts are not for the faint of heart. If you are living paycheck to paycheck and you're desperate for every single penny, a real estate contract default could bankrupt you. And so you want to be in a position where you have assets and you have a savings account built up. If it's a wraparound real estate contract and you're making the underlying mortgage payment, maybe get 2, 3, 4 months ahead on your mortgage payment. Because if there is a default, it's going to take a little bit of time to empty the house out. It's going to take some time to do the make ready. You're going to do carpet and paint. The beautiful thing about that, though, is then you just turn around and resell it, right? And hopefully the market is better than when you sold it before. If it's 2 years later or 5 years later, and you have a situation where the unit goes into default, theoretically, once you get it back and you get it organized and you resell it, it could be worth more than what you had it sold before. I have had to go through a default on one of my pieces of vacant land. A lady from another part of the state owned a restaurant, bought the land, made payments for 2.5 years, called me one day. I called her because I said, hey, your payment didn't come through on my escrow account. Is everything okay? So yeah, Michael, you know what? I closed my restaurant. I didn't want to do it anymore. And I don't want the land. I'm not moving to the Albuquerque area anytime soon. And I really just don't want it. And I said, okay, well, do you want me to go ahead and process a default, or do you want to handle this amicably? You just sign a one-page document. I sign a one-page document and we go our separate ways. And she said, that sounds great. So we signed the documentation. I relisted the lot for sale. It's for sale right now. If anybody wants it, 30 grand, hit your boy up. And so it wasn't a big deal. So, those are some of the pitfalls is default is a real thing. You want to make sure that you're doing it legally, right? You're following all the regulations that are tied to lending money. And if you do those things and you have a little bit of a cushion, it's a fantastic tool to either offset your headache or solve a problem property that you can't seem to get rid of. Hey everyone, Michael here with Absolute Real Estate. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor, like and subscribe below. And if you want more information on real estate and real estate investing, check out the links below and I'll see you on the next video.